I can hear you. That was a fun little bit of weirdness. All right, there we go. We are now properly live. I see it coming through. We're still on the intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor's Desk, where you can get your answers for mechanics in Cyberpunk Red. I need to work on that a bit better. Of course, James Hutt is here, and me, Rob Barefoot. I'll get y'all over to see our pretty faces here in 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, hey guys, how you doing? Forgive us for the late start today. A couple things just need to get handled quick. Big news today for those who are unaware. I want to go ahead and at least start with this, and then we'll get quickly into the answers. Right now, they have finally activated cross-sync for the 3 titles people were waiting for on Demiplane. So if you own the Cyberpunk Red Core, Black Chrome, or Edgerunners Mission Kit over on Roll20 or Demiplane, you will get the other on the other. And if for anyone curious, you can go to this link right here in chat. That will cover everything for you if you have questions. It's the post by Meredith, who works with Demiplane, covers everything. But you can also directly go over into our Discord at Games at discord.gg/Games, and you can pretty much ask her any questions you need in the Demiplane chat. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out quick. I apologize for how fast that was, and yes, I already know that little text needs to be updated. I really hit the ground running with this one today, guys. There we go. There we go. Proper. May 16th.
Okay, they forgive you.
Are you kidding me? This is always one of the things I want to make sure is right. Yeah. Anyway, James, take it away. I know you have a few things you'd like to say at the start of these.
Howdy, everybody. I'm James Hutt. I'm the senior game designer at Artelstory Games, where I love working on Cyberpunk. And hopefully, I get to answer your question today and give you some clarity, because this is a pretty fun game with a lot of little corners, and we got to shine light to some of those corners. So when I'm not at Artel, I'm working at James Hutt Games. You can check out my newsletter at jameshuttgames.com. JamesHuttgames.com. Check it out, and you'll hear more about that in the coming months. But for now, let's focus on some Cyberpunk stuff. I have a new mindset on these. You ready for my new mindset on these?
You scare me. What do you got?
The second we go live, my weekend starts. So I'm just hanging out with y'all. But in an hour, I do got to do something. So we'll rock and talk.
You got it. Now, for anyone who's curious, we go with the format of these as we answer questions directly from the community posts that we do on YouTube first. We then move to YouTube chat second. And then we wind up going over to our Discord, where there's a huge backlog of questions that we are still working our way through. So if you have questions you feel is urgent, pop them into the community post, but do not multi-post, meaning don't post them in 3 different places, because 1, that takes up time for other folks, 2, confuses the daylights out of us. So if you do that, make sure you delete your posts in other places. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and actually get this going first. Huh?
When he says us, he means just him.
Oh, it's confusing as heck when we have to
I don't
answer
have to
multiple.
deal with it.
Yeah, I have to deal with it.
So really, you're just annoying, Rob. I want you to know that that's not a...
Do not contribute to this. You know he wants me to get annoyed. Do not do that. Don't do that to me, please.
We're already. By the way, thank you for all the questions on martial arts. Everything that the good thing about releasing digital first is that it live updates when you get it from DriveThruRPG. When we fix things, and we're gonna fix things before it goes into print in about a couple days. Yeah. So don't worry, and thank you.
Yep, that's what Jay's been working on this week. I know you've been working on it too. So as soon as the
I have to admit, it's 23 different martial arts, and they're all designed to interlink. Yeah, we did rounds of playtesting on it, but there's still stuff that's like, oh, I should have used this word instead of that word.
Oh no, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get cleared up, but I'm gonna let you know we've already gonna be having some more martial arts questions today. You ready?
I am ready. Shall we jump in?
All right. So from Abigor. Oh, no, let's see. This is a
recognized name.
Yep, Abigor here wants to know. James mentioned there's an errata on wording to chokes, and it applies only to actions or only skill checks, but checked both errata and FAQ and couldn't find it. Thus, I would like some clarification on interactions as follows. All right, we do try to avoid like multi-questions. This is a chonker. I'll leave this up to you, James. There's a lot of this.
So
but
what's going on here?
Well, I'll get to it here. It's I'm trying to process it in a good way to word it all at once. Well, I like the way they actually source stuff. So, wrestling's chokehold and reversal on page 83.
Mm-hmm.
Does the attempt to beat DV15 come at a -2 due to being in grapple with the opponent?
Yes.
It does? Okay. So it does.
I think so.
Well, would you like me to pop it open, just in case?
No. It's a check. It's a martial arts skill resolution. Therefore, it's a skill check.
Okay. And, it's the same
It
thing
uses skill. It's a check.
Now, the same thing with Silence Violent Leverage, which is another page 82. Does the attempt to beat DV15 come at a -2 and the melee weapon attack done at -2 due to grapple rules? So, yeah, that's what he's looking for. Yeah, he's looking to see if...
Okay. So that second one, let me look into that.
Okay. I'll pop it open, too. I should have had it open already. And for the record, the reason why the stream started late today, y'all, is straight due to me. I apologize for that. This has been my week coming back. No, I will. You have to apologize for stuff that you do wrong, sir. I'm human, but I'm also the reason. I will apologize for stuff.
He's dancer. He's dancer today. I apologize, guys.
Let's see here. Here we go.
Yeah, violent leverage. You started a grapple, therefore you're in a grapple. And you use the martial arts special move resolution. Attempt to beat a DV15. Yes, you get that -2 because you're in a grapple. That's basically, it's still a check, so that works.
All right. So we'll go straight along then to Bergstraub.
And by the way, last week, violent leverage also has a one-word change in the requirement, which is you started to grapple with a target you haven't grappled before during this combat. It's not like you've never grappled them before in your life as the requirement.
I get you. Just more clarifying.
It's
and making
very
sure
hard to write that sentence in a manner that does not create a side-eye reading. Like, but what if I read it this way and with this intonation instead?
You already know, let's just people try to power game it.
No. This is people confused about how it works. Nobody's like, is it defensive power game? That situation has not happened on table once in the 2 weeks.
Watch me.
Oh, no.
I will do it.
I've interacted with this person 2 separate times, but I've grappled them before, so it doesn't count. No. They're all power gaming is player-facing power gaming usually. Let's
keep going with it. That's going into something that we already know we're going to be fixing on it. So Bergstraub.
By the way, you've heard of blood oranges, right?
Yeah, I've eaten them.
Right? Yeah, they're delicious, right?
Yeah.
But did you know that every pineapple you eat is a blood pineapple?
No, I didn't know that.
Dull. Anyway, go on.
Please stop trying to get the stream shut down. You're going to get the channel deleted. You're going to piss
I
off
just
the
wanted to
wrong
make sure
court.
we do it early.
You're going to piss off the wrong
I just
court.
want to make sure we do it early. We get it out of the way.
All right, so from Bergstraub, would my friend the Oscelot from the 12 Days of Cuteness take 2 actions to reload, seeing as you must so you must use an action to pet the gun?
Cuteness, pulling it up.
Mm-hmm. I think the reason why we put it in the petting thing was so that you could unlock it for other people to reload.
Let me make sure, because this is a very important piece of lore. This is my friend the Oscelot, after all. Bump. Weapon can only be reloaded by a user with the correct biometric key. To input this key, the user must pet the weapon as an action, which unlocks the weapon's ammunition chamber for 9 seconds.
Yeah, because I remember we put that in so people could have friends reload.
Yes. What do you mean have friends reload?
That was the design choice because whenever we were all sitting talking through, we realized it was a strong little gun, and we had that biometric, and then the option came, it was like, what if someone handed it off to someone to reload for them to hand back after they opened it up?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too. That's still 2 actions. Yeah. So, yes, it's still 2 actions. So the 9-second unlock also enables you to pet the gun on one turn, reload the gun on the next turn.
Mm-hmm. So 2 actions.
Because yes, so 2 actions.
Okay.
And that's a balancing mechanic. That's a very good weapon.
Ooh, I'm not saying this guy's name.
There's a certain amount of like, if you need that many bullets, really, finish that fight, it's a 1 ROF weapon. Yeah. It's got an auto firing mode. I guess. Yeah, no. So you're either auto firing for 3 rounds and the problem still isn't dead, or you're single firing for a number of rounds and then auto firing for a number of rounds. It's a balancing mechanic. The weapon is very good.
All right. Moving on to the next one. All right, Chunt. I'm not messing your name up this time. So he's got a lore question. And this one here's a little more open-ended, so it's a lot more chill. What do you think is a negative...
What's Chunt's whole name again?
No. What do you think is a negative part of living in Night City that doesn't get much attention? They think it's the smell, but what do you think? I got one.
Sound. The sound.
Ooh, you're right.
It's very hard to get quiet.
There's no sound.
Quiet is super, super rare in Night City. I would say in order to get quiet, you have to be in like very, very deep parts of the combat zone, and even then you're still hearing it from the big city because it is 24 hours a day. It's a city that never sleeps.
Yeah, for me, quite literally, it's the other part of that. It's the light pollution. Can you imagine never, ever, ever having a single bit of
blackout
time?
Curtains.
Yeah, even that, you're going to have it flash into your room.
I got this horrible thing that happens at my apartment. It's that in order to get to the trash cans, the garbage truck needs to back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
And they pick them up at 3 a.m. every day. And there's a little sound tunnel there.
I can relate to that. Trains here. It does not matter where you are in my town, you will hear the trains. And it's there's maybe 5 to 6 different train intersections that happen here. Because this place is a major cargo hub, and it's where a lot of places connect. And it does not matter the time of day. You will be woke up by the trains. And it does not matter what side of town.
Most of your transportation via tornado these days?
So, right now I'm actually
shoes on and everything.
I'm feeling kind of lucky right now because almost all of the tornadoes are everywhere but here right now. It's like there's a dome over the southeast, and it's all the way up to like Michigan and Wisconsin getting hit by tornadoes right now. It kind of is mind-blowing. And that extends all the way down to Texas. It's weird. Very weird right now. But yeah, no, it's... Unfortunately, while we harness wind power to get around, by jumping and spreading our arms out, flying squirrel style, if you're wearing a coat, get some extra distance. No, everywhere else still uses trains, so they have to power through and pray.
Got it.
So, let's see. Kiaselli asks, does our niece's coordinated combination fulfill the requirements of capoeira / dance if a light or medium melee weapon was used?
Okay.
That sounds like some cool stuff.
Coordinated combination.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool.
So does coordinated combination fulfill / dance, right?
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up / dance. You got our niece?
I got our niece, yeah.
Okay.
So the coordinated combination requirements, you hit the same target with 2 Arnis attacks, martial arts Arnis attacks, or 2 medium melee weapon attacks, or 2 light... it's 2 melee weapon attacks made with light or medium melee weapons. I guess you could go light medium, or medium medium, or light light. Or any melee weapon installed as cyberware, installed in cyberware, or installed in a battle glove this turn. Okay, now give me, now let me just go to...
Slash Dance has a beefy requirement. It's the one that gives you an extra
Dance.
attack. So I'll let you read it yourself because the requirements we have on that is chunky. It's the one that you can use 3 luck points to trigger.
Yeah, so you either have to inflict it a critical injury with a light or medium melee weapon, and guess what? You can use light or medium melee weapons to do the previous attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a synergy there. Any melee weapon installed as cyberware, installed in cyberware, installed gear such as a battle glove, that's the same text too. Also, you could do that. Or you used more than 3 luck points. So it's 4 or more, actually.
Mm.
On an attack you made with any of those previously listed weapons, or on rhythmic recovery. Okay, so can you read the question one more time?
All right. Does our niece's coordinated combination fulfill the requirements of Capoeira's Slash Dance if you're using a light or medium melee weapon? So basically,
Yeah.
if you're using the combo and you're using a light or medium melee weapon, can you then go into Slash Dance? So they can do weapon, Slash Dance, resolution, extra hit if succeeds. So they're looking to do ROF3.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed for.
Mhm.
That's an intentional synergy.
Yep, that's one of the combos we've deliberately set up. Using martial arts, while it looks strong in a vacuum, you're going to have to hit a lot of resolutions to pull off all this cool shit. And it is it does not always work, but if you do, you feel like a badass, and it is badass, you know?
So especially because people can dodge.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because that luck point bit on it is lets you be a little bit more flexible on one end. Anyway, yes, that's a very good combo. Light and medium melee weapons need it though. The battle glove stuff is really fun too, as is cyberware weapons.
And speaking of that, because we're about to get into something else as weapon-wise. By the way, anytime I hear battle gloves, I still think about how useful they can be at putting them on a, one of those wonderful little makeshift frame APCAs that people can make. That people always ask us when we're releasing.
The time they tried to jump the non-cybernetic guy in Ghost in the Shell, and he pulls out the battle glove, and he's like, "Not today." You can't even kill a side character.
Here's let's move on quick to the next one. David Armstrong here. Here's a question I think we've answered in the Discord, but never on the stream, so it's going to be good to get this one out. Although I know this is a question we have answered, because I was wrong about this one. In the Edgerunners mission kit, quick hacking and jacking in requires line of sight. How does this work with cover? For example, if a runner jacks into an enemy neuroport and either the runner or target gets behind cover, are they unsafely jacked out since line of sight is lost?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that. Reread it.
If you're looking at somebody and you jack in and you go and hide...
No, I know.
No, I'm saying to them.
I'm giving my answer.
I know, I'm saying it to them. I'm explaining it instead of a yes. If they hide or break line of sight, you're still jacked in unless they go out of range. There is a range limit. But all you have to do is get line of sight within the range limit, succeed, and you're set. Until they, push you out.
And I was gonna, say that too, but now I look like the bad guy.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, it's very good. Otherwise, people think about the how easy it is to break line of sight, and you might find the reason why that exists. That would be because people could walk around with a piece of cardboard and break line of sight.
Yeah. The bag over the head. We were talking about how the Fool... Yeah, we've answered this on stream. Yeah, we were talking about how the Fool was immediately immune to quick hacks.
Also, you could just pull your shirt over your head.
So stupid.
Take off your pants. Just anything to break line of sight at that point.
Not going to go into the idea I just had there. All right. Next question from Hoxton
Tactical
Hummingbird.
pants. I understand.
When determining the cost of a tech invention, page 148 of the Core Rulebook, how do I invent cheaper items? If I wanted to create a cheap beverage... Ow, I just punched my... Oof, that hurt. I was gesturing and I just punched my little library over here. If I wanted to create a cheap beverage or from roasted or ground beans, would I invent the excellent quality coffee maker for 500 eddies and then create the low quality version of it for 100 EB? So they're wanting to know... I think that's more of a GM question. Just have it.
So, yes, but this is a player, I think. Here's the maybe. Okay, so just because tech fabricate is a role ability, it is not the method by which everything in the world gets made. Factories are not using the tech fabricate rules. They have created an item that does something, right? Like a Coke bottling plant is not using the rule ability. A Coke bottling plant is a complicated item with a lot of different pieces that makes Coke, right? That bottles Coke. Toward that end, you're kind of like inventing a manufacturing process. So that is still inventing. It's still going to cost a lot of money. And you got to ask yourself, what type of manufacturing process are you inventing? Are you inventing a recipe to make it in your own home? Or are you inventing a recipe that's scalable? You know, it's the difference between having the recipe that works for a small business and then having one that you can scale to a small, medium-sized factory. Anyway, it's a really cool idea and is certainly the kind of thing that has a lot of story potential. And good on ya. To invent something like that, where you're trying to invent something cheap like a drink, you'd be inventing the process to make the drink or inventing a machine that makes the drink. If you want to just make one, well, if you haven't invented the recipe before, and that's also difficult. Just because it's cheap to make doesn't mean the process to make it is cheap. Does that make sense? And you are asking about a very, very specific edge case.
No, they're wanting to know how to just make it. How does it go? I think what they're trying to ask is, how can I just make an item low quality so I can make it cheaply as a tech? I think that's where the question's coming from.
I believe there is a minimum there for a reason, and it's because you doing it that way is not making it cheaply. If that makes sense. I guess you make it and then you fabricate it. I believe that's covered by the core rules, and I'm sorry, but I do believe that techs need to internalize that, because they're kind of the people dealing with the rules in that way.
Yeah, that's, in my opinion, a GM's call. Make it basically just take the item.
If it's not
go down
directly, then it's a GM call. And if it is directly spelled out, then it's literally on the page you just mentioned.
Just go down one, oh god, what do we call them again? Price category? Yeah, go down one price category or half the amount that the item is, but be aware it comes with all of the poor quality problems. And
right,
since you are, using the maker ability, in the end, that is up to the GM to determine how rough that gets. But yeah. Invention specifies the minimum PC of the invented item as 500 EBs, so you can't even really go below 500. Looks like I literally got the page open right now to look through. It's just that's one of the ones where we will really say talk to your GM about if you're wanting to do something crazy, because again, the rules are just guidelines too.
The first one is going to cost more because you're making a brand new thing. You have to prototype it. The reason why it's that amount, that 500, is because what you're making is the prototype. Later, after you've invented it, you can probably fabricate it for cheaper based on its price category. But the first one is going to cost a lot. That's what that's about.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this moving on a bit. From Universaurus Rex, got a martial arts question about wrestling and Oscelot. So let's see here.
Okay.
Does wrestling's reversal satisfy Oscelot's violent leverage conditions? Let's say someone grapples me on their turn, then on my turn, I pull a reversal. Have I started a grapple with a target I haven't grappled before this combat? It's a good question. And it goes into Oscelot itself, yeah. Goes into what you were talking about earlier.
So you are the defender in a grapple, is the requirement of reversal. Martial arts special move resolution, you are now the attacker in a grapple. Okay, so you are grappling at that moment. So let's see. Leverage. It is your turn. This turn, you started a grapple with the target you haven't grappled before this combat. Okay. I mean, is reversal? Okay. Reversal. This is not clear. This is getting errata. Reversal needs to mention that it counts as starting a new grapple. And then the second thing that needs to happen is violent leverage. Leverage needs to look for grapples. Only grapples. You start.
If you're wondering why I'm sitting and just letting him finish it out, I've learned
Change
never interrupt James when he's writing
to
stuff down.
yeah, please don't interrupt. It makes things taste twice as long. You know how it works.
Oh yeah, I
Please
do.
change to perhaps change to once a combat instead of current cap. There. We have been getting several questions about that sentence. That sentence is getting changed in a couple of ways. The first is that reversal will mention that it counts as starting a new grapple. The second is that violent leverage will only look for grapples that you start. And the third is that it's going to be its cap, that the special cap of like you can't have grappled them before this combat. That is going to change to just a more easily understandable once per combat only per target sentence. Because it's a little too cute, and because it's being cute, it's causing confusion.
We're trying to keep it like, lean, but it was too open-ended.
Right. I was that sentence needed to be written with a couple of extra words. I tried to keep everything condensed because fitting 20, the thing is already super long. How long is the fucking martial arts thing anyways? Did it turn out to be
23 pages, I think, but this is one thing I'll tell everybody too. Like,
it's like thick pages though.
yeah,
It's like
so
2 pieces of art.
to
One piece of art.
Actually, it's 11 pages, but the thing is, while there's 23 martial arts, it's 46 new moves. 46 new things you can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
So you can see how there's a lot here. Yeah. And that means that a good learning from here is that every individual piece, if you're looking for everything to be modular, like the system is, then every individual piece needs to be simpler. That way, when they fit together, there's less of a chance that they fall apart. Anyway, But
Next.
I like I said, this was one of the most difficult things I had to write. And it was because of that we're having to, wrench a couple of things in right now.
Oh no, you're good. I don't think people realize this is hands down one of the most detailed setups we've done so far. And previously it was FBCs, and in FBCs we were balancing them. That's what we were doing. But we made them modular. We made them basically build you as you want to be, and even they were not as complex as martial arts. So, like, there's so much that we still are aiming to do, but y'all have to understand that sometimes there is a little times where we do have to errata. And following this current setup of digital first and then rolling into the physical print a little bit after is working well. Like, we're catching a lot because you can fix things digitally very easy. The moment it's in print, it's extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. So I'm popping in here and seeing a few questions that I want to go ahead and state.
Back in the day,
Remember,
there were stickers.
We can't.
But we don't do stickers anymore.
We cannot talk about future products. We cannot talk about future releases, and we're not answering things around the 2077 book. I have people here who have asked about, are we going to see more burst weapons or things like that? So remember, we can't answer some things, and I will just go right over those questions. We're keeping it on mechanics. And this one here is actually a nice one. I'm from Dissarday. I'm guessing I'm saying that right. Question about Facedowns. And this is something I do want us to have on a stream. The rule says the loser must back down or take a -2 to any future actions made against this opponent due to fear until they have defeated them once. If the loser doesn't back down, does this -2 penalty? Does this -2 penalty include evading attacks from the winner? And if the loser does back down, but the winner attacks anyway, does the -2 penalty still apply to evasion? They're wanting to see if basically a face down will debuff somebody.
It will. It will, and that counts. It's a pervasive thing on all checks, I believe. So you get that's the idea.
Yeah, face downs are really underutilized. People don't understand how strong that thing really is.
They're really underutilized and very, very good.
Yeah.
They're meant to be one of the great benefits of playing a social character or having powerful social abilities. And they can turn your solo buddy into a demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my tech miser, back when I was still playing him, I relied on base downs a lot because all I had was handgun 4, evasion 4, not counting the stats on top of it. So he was not really a good combat guy. He was someone who would lay a trap, but if I was ever caught in a situation, I would let the things he had done in the past freak out the opponent, and then my friends would be the ones who jump him while I just stand there, acting like I was something special when in fact I was just setting them for success. Well, and it was successful. Holy crap!
That's good gameplay. I think it working as it does in a D10 system, a -2 is a lot.
That's 20%.
Like think how much it costs to get a +2 on your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and now imagine that on every weapon, essentially.
Oh boy. Yelmo asks, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well. My question is, how did Morgan Blackhand survive? He surfed down Atom Smasher's body as Arasaka Tower fell." That's it. Yeah. No, we can't answer that. I don't think there's
any Morgan specific.
We've not revealed it. We can't talk about it.
Yeah, no. There's none in the new story, but there is some new fun Shaitan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Go read it.
Yeah. The reason I was humoring this one is this is another question about do we know how he lived, or will that be revealed in a future release? We just cannot talk about it. So Broken Lightning, I like that name. If a fixer PC participates in or runs a night market, how do you determine how much money they make? Good question.
Roleplay. You have to do roleplay. There's no system to determine to pull the fixer out of their job and into like a purely P&L level business. It's not a good idea. Just roleplay it. Have them do deals. I mean, they kind of spent their most powerful character identity bit, their role ability, on getting to this thing. They should get to do it on table. I mean, they have the damn haggle abilities.
Could I offer
Let them go crazy, make some money.
Potential narrative solution?
Sure.
Okay. Well, for one, I mean, the Fixer's pulling together the night market so everyone can succeed in trade. Also, to make connections. A night market is extremely important to make connections with. Yes, you're bringing your friends in, but who are your friends bringing in, and what new stuff are they going to bring? Now, let's say you as the Fixer, you make a little caveat where, all right, if you come here, all I want is a 5% cut of your earnings. That's it. Small amount.
Yeah, that's not. No Fixer would show up there and give up. There are other Fixers.
Let me finish.
Okay.
To even see if that kind of deal will succeed, use your haggle ability. Straight up as that. It'd be difficult, but just use the haggle ability. And then, once they're on site, let the roleplay play out. See how busy it will be. See how many folks actually do deals. You're not going to make, thousands of EBs, but you're going to wind up getting, money for your time. And you can always pass it off as, hey, this is just the working cost to make sure this all happens right. We all succeeded. Everybody made profit. This is just to cover it. So you can tap into, as James said, your haggle ability, and you can literally pull it all together through roleplay. But you'll have a very grounded, solid reason why, instead of just make night market, make instant money. A night market is supposed to be, honestly, a whole session of roleplay.
Yeah, I'm saying, what I'm saying is you shouldn't, if they only get it once a month, you should not be doing night markets in the background or during downtime.
Yeah.
Unless you really, really have already done that before and don't want to do that again. And honestly, if the Fixer setting it up doesn't want it. Also, even like Mr. Kernigan doesn't charge a 5% flat profit fee at his own night markets that he sets up with other Fixers. So I don't think you're getting away with that.
No, that's just not
that's
what I said. That's the reason why I said
Fixer.
it's a narrative solution potentially for the question they have. Like, if you want it, try to haggle, but it's not going to go as well as you may think. But if you want to try and make profit from it, use your haggle, but it's still going to come out to being roleplay if you do make profit from it. But the real profit is getting connections.
Yeah, and it's way more valuable to have those connections for player power even. It lets you interact with other Fixers, which is a super powerful thing to be able to do, have your character be able to do. And good business practices are good role-playing practices as well. You set up a night market, you invite some Fixers, they show up, the guys that show up, you go over there, you go, hey, got you a gift. Hope you're having a good day. How's your niece? That's just called survival tactics at that point. Get you a long way in the business world. And hey, to show up, you gotta pay is just not how Fixers work.
All right, so right now I'm looking at the last couple questions.
Them being there is a value to you and your reputation, and you're kind of co-signing each other's reputations.
I'm right now looking through the post to see if there's anything else we could answer relatively smooth. See one from Jeff, one from Israel. Because I want to pull some from chat, and I know we're low on time, I'm going to hold on those. They're mostly open-ended questions, except for the one about the microside net vision. I mean, the Raven side.
I want to give the community an hour, but I do have to go after that hour.
Yep, we have approximately 15 minutes then.
Let's do it.
So let's see here. We're going to start off in chat from Ophelia Gray Raven. I like your name. Hello, as a GM, I'm a bit confused about unconsciousness. Sedative and sleep MO states that it lasts a minute, and they wake upon taking damage or being roused. Gang Jazzler and choking does not. Could you clarify?
Okay. I believe choking and Gang Jazzler both say that they go unconscious, and the unconscious condition itself in the core rule book says it lasts for a minute. in both those cases, Jay Gray told me that, oh, you can just say it's unconscious. And I was like, we have to keep mentioning the minute thing, or people won't. Sorry, he gets thrown under the bus today. Anyhow. But there is a reason I keep repeating that, and it's mostly for clarification. And it's kind of weird. I'll cop to that. It's weird that all unconsciousness lasts 1 minute, but 1 minute is an easy to remember amount of time, and all combat tends to be over by then.
I was just gonna say it's just because we don't have a sleep condition.
Yeah, the sleep condition is kind of weird because too.
In that question,
in a narrative sense, they can't see it coming, they can't sense it coming, so anything is an auto hit. Attacking people while they're asleep is really good tactically, by the way.
In that question, the two examples that they previously used, of course, was sedative and sleep ammo, which knocks people out of sleep, and the other two is when you are choked or stunned. So, yeah. It's basically just the fact that we don't have a sleep condition, so therefore it falls under unconsciousness, but that's the reason why they have specifics that state otherwise. They're like, hey, they get hurt, they wake up.
Yep. All right. Yep. That's the like, yeah, you get the idea. That's what the sleep gas elevator does. That's what anyway.
Hey,
sleep is super. If you've ever played low level Dungeons and Dragons, sleep is super broken on table. There is very little way to actually make that fun on table. Just heads up.
The sleep spell is the newbie wizard's fireball. Sleep is disgusting.
Crazy good.
Disgusting. The fact that it kicks in too once they get below
The only thing that makes it not broken is that if you're a new player, you won't know how to take advantage of it. But if you do know how to, it's not a level 1 spell.
All right, so I now have a question here from William McGruther. Page 223 of the core rulebook, it states that Cybertech cannot be used to stabilize wound states. Going Metal from Interface Red Volume 3 does not have a rule for SBCs that supersedes this. Is this intentional?
Yeah. That's intentional.
No, usually you're
still have to.
Usually you're elaborating on it, so I was I was waiting to see if you would.
No, that's intentional. I mean, you should still have to have some skills to stabilize a target. That you can't do everything with Cybertech, even if it is an FBC.
All right. One from Jay Gray. James, why are you so handsome? Isn't that unfair to the rest of the RTG staff? Jay, just because I didn't shave the sides of my head, don't mean you can talk shit. Speaking of which, if you want to see something rare, yeah, it was a very lazy week for me, so I didn't shave my head. Revealed the gray.
Hey.
So, let's see here. Oh, from Mark Street. Looks like Mark Street. Are there any self-driving cars in 2045 or services like Delamain in 2077?
So there are cars that you can call and summon via net architecture in the core rulebook, and that does exist. But in terms of services, it's a little bit early for that to be a viable business, given the differences in street danger in a lot of places in 45.
It's for me. Isn't there? I'm trying to not confuse it with something I've homebrewed, but I don't think there is a self-driving. There's not a KITT module, KITT module. Yeah, I don't think there is one.
No, there's no AI car.
Yeah. That's what I think.
There is self-driving as in I can see in front of me, I can stop.
All right, so next question on this, Corgi. Oh, this is for me. Hey, yo, forgot this was happening today. So, Rob, unintended/joke. Questions for me. Why did you hide all the previous Mayor Desk's community posts with all the questions, and why do you hate me? All right, so serious reason for that. People were getting confused and posting on old posts. because when it comes to community posts, YouTube will actually push old posts out to the algorithm every now and then, and people will think it's current, even if I have a thumbnail there saying the date. So after every mayor's desk, I typically will delete the post and then the next week put up a new one. So that's the reason why. Yeah. It's just to avoid confusion. It really is only that.
It's a workaround.
Yeah, because
this is a strange thing that YouTube doesn't prepare for, because why would it?
Yeah, it's I literally just, that's the reason why I do everything on the community post first, so I know I got it covered, so I can just delete it and then get the new one up so I can get fresh questions. So yeah, that's the reason why. Let's see here. Just trying to see if there's another pop-up here. What do we got for time? 7 minutes.
I can do 2 more.
2 more? Okay.
Pick your favorites. Pick your favorites.
OBS, please show me. OBS is apparently shitting the bed. Don't know why.
Add OBS.
Okay, there we go. Now it's back. Okay, from Abigor, but this is a good question, and I already know our answer to it, and it's going to be a good one. Any reason why IRV4 Martial Arts didn't add any new shared special moves? It's because the whole point is mixed martial arts now. A lot of combinations.
Shared special moves are very difficult to design. And there aren't a lot of things that are like relevant to all martial arts styles at the same time. Special way to, like, the kip up is one of the very few ones. Most martial arts have a way to do that. I mean, I didn't find one in development, despite looking really, really hard. I think there's one more I'd want to do, but that's not a question for right now.
Yep. Don't talk about it. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Because this goes back to something I disagreed with you on. We're going to talk about Kendos Cut the Bullet. Because I still don't believe you should punch bullets. I think you should cut them. But
what?
You once said people can punch bullets with big knucks. But the question here is from Friedrich Lemons. The question: was it intended that Kendo Cut the Bullet is not supposed to work with thrown melee weapons like knives or grenades, which it is unclear if they are thrown ranged weapons? I don't personally see much sense in
wielding. So it's intended to work with. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I'll take a note.
Note
bullet
on
should work on thrown weapons and grenades.
What are you meaning with this? You immediately started doing the errata. You didn't fill me in. I'm curious what you got cooking.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can cut a bullet, you can probably cut a knife in half if it's being thrown at you.
I think,
it was always intended to be a way to have a special mode for cutting grenades in half.
Yeah.
So just making that more clear that it works even if you throw the grenade versus fire it from a grenade launcher is a good idea.
Well, I was going to say,
so I took the note. How
I initially read it there, Friedrich, is it Frederick or Friedrich? Sorry, it's the spelling. I just want to make sure I got it right. I thought they were asking, why can't it just throw a grenade at a bullet and cut the bullet that way? Because
it's not what.
Yeah. But the reason why is because the gate was kind of open when you said, yes, people can use cut the bullet with big knucks and punch bullets.
Well, no, big knucks are classified as a melee weapon. That's not opening any gate. That's just following the rules as written.
I don't know.
Big knucks are not big. Big knucks are special.
I still view it as cutting a bullet in half
weapon.
with a sword or a bladed weapon. That's at least how I've always seen how I see it.
Right. But you could also do it with a big hammer.
Let's see. All right.
Or a crowbar.
I'll concede. This is your gig.
Or a broken bottle.
This is your show. This is your show.
Specifying that the weapon has to have some sort of cutting edge is not going to really do anything but add bloat.
All right, last question. This is a cool one. We're not going to talk about...
It kind of reminds me of the being cute and violent leverage that has caused the issue earlier. So
I'm going to go ahead and say the one thing we can't talk about is the 25th style on this, all right? Question. Any martial arts that didn't make the cut? That's always a fun question.
Ooh.
That's always a fun
martial
one.
arts that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I know. You cooked
so
with this
here's
one.
the thing. Here's the thing. Blind spots. Let's talk about blind spots. I tried to do a world tour here. I wanted everyone's cultures to be represented. I'm pretty sure there's something from the Middle East that I missed, and I'm pretty sure there's something from India that I missed. Those are big blind spots in like my cultural understanding, and they admittedly like there are way more than 23 martial arts styles on this earth. There was some like winnowing that had to be done, and that's probably where you'll find the styles. Go on a journey.
They're wanting to know if there was any designed that we ended up cutting before we let it go to playtesting. Like there's any that were planned.
No. There were ones that got remixed and remastered, of course, from playtest feedback, but that's not what happened. Sometimes it's like that, not here.
All right, y'all. So, as we said earlier, James only had an hour today, and we are right on the minute. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, remember, you now have Demiplane and Roll20 cross-synced. This will tell you everything you need to know. Just go to that link there. If y'all have any questions, come over to the Artal Discord, discord.gg/ArtalStorianGames. And also, if you have any further questions about martial arts, you can either pop them into the Mayor's Desk channel there, or you can wait for the next community post to pop up, because I need to hurry up and delete it before Corgi can get to it, because I need to be a menace. Now that you've pointed it out, I will continue to do that. But yeah, you have anything to add, James? Some last minute plugs?
Nope. Thanks everybody for coming. You want to hear more from me, you can go to jameshuttgames.com and sign up for my newsletter. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all again next week. And keeping up the good questions.
And I'll go ahead and give a small warning for y'all next week. There's going to be more than one stream next week. I've been busy. Ooh. I have my own little things I've been working on that I've not told no one about. So you'll see the stream schedule pop up. We'll see y'all soon, okay? Catch you later.
Oh, wait a second.
What?
One more thing.
What? I'm in the extras.
Sorry.
They're seeing Rexy right now. What is it? What do you got?
I wanna shout out this Kickstarter my friend is working on.
Yeah, Craig's.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'll even get the link for you while you're talking about it.
Thank you. So, Nerdburger Games has this Kickstarter that's going that's up right now for a card game called Slay to Win. My buddy Craig Campbell has busted his ass on it, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. The tariffs are not doing very good things for board games right now, but he's not producing in China, unfortunately. That means that, but like nobody's reading into that. But there's actually, that's not, what I'm saying is this is a great game. Needs some help. It's gonna fund. And at the end of the day, you'll get a great product. Slay to Win by Craig Campbell. Check it out on Kickstarter. Got really freaking good art. Look into it.
I have already popped
Good
in
stuff.
the link multiple times into the
Good
chat.
stuff deserves to be good stuff deserves to be seen and played.
Just realized this whole time I was muted too, it looks like. My bad. But yeah, right now, y'all are all pretty much set to go. I have it linked. If y'all have any other questions, you know where to find us in the Discord.